First down.
They are in need of 6 yards here if they hope to move the chains.
Rodgers now to throw.
He finds Watson complete.
And he's got this almost to the 40 before going out. It's a gain of 16 and a first down for the green and gold.
Let's just call it what it is. This has been a flat-out struggle for this defense all game long. They've really had a hard time slowing them down. And while I'm not big on speeches and guys jumping up and down, they might need their team leader on defense to get in their face right now and light a fire under these guys. They've got to start playing better assignment football and start getting guys on the ground.
Escaping the pressure right. So we've reached halftime here on opening weekend. As we'll send you down to Orlando, and we check in with Jonathan Coachman for our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach. We'll see if week one.
And we will not see a return to start the half, as this will be a touchback. Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. Well, they look up at the scoreboard facing that deficit. A 3-score game, Charles, but look, there's plenty of time to go here. The old football cliche that comes to my mind is you can't get it all back at once. They probably need something, though, out of this drive, at least 3 points.
Are you trying to say that there's no 3-score drive on that play sheet for any of those coordinators? They just don't have it, right? You're trying to get it all back. You know you can't get it back in one drive. But maybe cut into it a little bit, as you just suggested. Try and create a little bit of momentum, a little bit of a spark, and then maybe that'll carry over.
On second down, here's Nwangu. And this will be a Vikings first down as the tackle made at about the 38.
So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38. Throwing, Cousins.
That's complete to Chandler on the check down.
And this winds up a gain of 4 to the 41.
That's a good job there by the corner. We do talk about this a lot, that a lot of corners see their job as simply covering receivers. Tackling isn't everyone's thing. But in this case, he came up quickly and made a nice, sure tackle.
To throw again on second down. Cousins forced out to his left. And his pass is intercepted for the 4th time today. Picked up by Obi Melifonwu. And they take possession 2 yards away from midfield at the 48-yard line.
Well, they're certainly in a bad way right now. Not so bad that you can call this one over already, but bad enough that you know you can't toss an interception to open the second half. This just ratchets up the pressure on this team's defense right now.
Now a throw here to his running back. And they're going to get this down to about the 37.
And while we may be looking at the scoreboard, this offense certainly is not, because they're showing no signs of backing down, even with a 3-score lead here in the 3rd quarter. I think they keep taking their shots. They've seen blown leads happen throughout this league. They don't want to fall victim to it themselves.
So 1st and 10, and if they score on this drive, might have to start digging in our second half blowout material.
On play action, now Rodgers. He's going to let this go. Back of the end zone. Back of the end zone. Could he get his feet down? No, it's incomplete.
After what they've faced during this game, where they've given up a ton of yards downfield, there has to be a measure of revenge right there for the secondary. They've been shredded throughout the game and finally forced an incompletion.
After the incomplete pass, here now is 2nd and 10. Here's Rodgers.
That is caught. It's the tight end, Tunyon.
And this is going to turn into another first down as the tackle is made at the Vikings 19. Give them 18 on that play, and Green Bay has the first as well.
Altogether, a pretty shaky start to the year for this defense as they defend another 1st and 10.
And again, it's Rodgers. Eluding the pressure right. Now a diving effort right sideline. He's got it. And he's got it. It's caught for a Packers touchdown.
Robert Tonyan
from 19 yards away, as his guys have opened up a very comfortable lead.
McCann now for the extra point.
And he's been a busy man, 5 for 5 now as he knocks another one through to extend the lead.
After the touchdown on is Pat O'Donnell to send this one away. Fielded just outside the goal line. And they'll start this drive just across the 30. Pretty nice work on the return. The Minnesota offense about ready to get this next drive underway. Well, we haven't exactly been treated to a nail-biter in this one, CD, and if they cannot score here, this one's pretty much all but over.
Are you saying that you feel like people are starting to think about getting out of here, maybe beating the traffic in order to get home or to their final destination?
Yeah, I don't think there's a whole lot of reason to hang around, especially if they can't score here.
Yeah, you're right about that because it has been pretty clear who the better team has been in this one. And in a league that we talk about every game being a one-score game as we go into it, watching this blowout.
And now here is another interception.
Picked off by Eric Stokes. And the Packers will have the football as this is taken up past the 30. Well, to be blunt, not a whole lot has gone right for this defense in this ball game, but that's something right there. Still in the third quarter. It would take something around miracle territory for a comeback, but maybe that's a start, Charles.
It certainly is, and they're definitely showing that there's some fight still left in them. Hasn't been a banner day.
And Rodgers is going to go down. He's sacked. Say hello to Eric Kendricks. He gets the sack there.
I don't know what else can be said about this pass rush. They have been sensational. CD, that is now 6 sacks for them.
And how many times do we talk to offensive coordinators and they say a sack is a result of everyone on offense not doing their job? But let's be honest about this one. This is the offensive line unable to counter the pass rush. They've been teeing off all game long.
And that will be incomplete. Tried to dial up the long one way out there, but it'll be third down.
I know conventional wisdom says, hey, don't get it all back in one play. But sometimes you go ahead and try to. They tried to get it all back on that one. Weren't able to do so.
Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. The Vikings after him, and they get there for the sack. Looks like a 9-yard loss, and it also brings up 4th. On now is the Packers punter. And the way this offense has moved the ball, he hasn't been needed till here in the 3rd. This is fielded at the 27. And he gets this up across the 35 before he's out of bounds. We'll call that a punt of 54 yards. Well struck.
And it will be Vikings ball, 1st and 10.
Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive.
Well, it's a game that they would rather probably forget about, at least to this point, Charles. And one reason is turnovers. A turnover on the last drive. They had the issue in the first half as well, and that's really, unfortunately for them, helped to put this game out of reach.
And you know they won't admit it to themselves, but we know that winning the game is pretty much out of the picture now. So their bottom line is, how do they play a clean game the rest of this one, right? Take care of the football, no more turnovers, and see how that works.
From just shy of midfield, Cousins. And he drops it incomplete, and their struggles continue here.
Another throw there off the mark, and obviously he's battled all of the interceptions. Things just haven't been true to form for him. I don't know. What do you think's going on out there, CD?
That's a great question, and my suspicion is he's been coached really well.
And my goodness, another interception. And some space here. And what a return as he brings this all the way back down to the 20-yard line. Well, to be frank, CD, this is getting tough to watch. I mean, you feel for him, but 6 interceptions, that's at a whole new level. It's not a good level.
It makes it tougher and tougher to come up with ways to try and support him. But you have to as a team because you can't just throw your quarterback aside. You're going to need him later on. But it reminds me of a time that a former defense coordinator of mine told me he was in a game where his quarterback threw 7 interceptions. So after the 6-1, one of the defensive players went to the quarterback and said, here's what you do. Throw the ball to the other team, and let's see if our receivers can pick it off and turn it into a completion.
That's just mean. I don't know that I'd go down there and say that to him right now. Probably pretty fragile. Second and 10, third quarter of the season opener. Now Rodgers. To the goal line, but it's incomplete.
They have to like what they've done defensively here at the outset of this drive. They forced a couple of incomplete passes, bring up a 3rd and 10. Don't be surprised to bring a little pressure on this snap.
From the gun on 3rd down, Rodgers. Flush to his right.
This one incomplete. Probably should have been picked. A little nonchalant with a throw to the safety valve, but it's 4th down.
Well, no surprise there. He was looking for one of his favorite targets again as soon as he left the pocket. But the coverage was good downfield. They got right to the receiver and helped prevent that completion.
Out is Tucker McCann now to try the field goal. McCann's kick is good. So after 5 touchdowns offensively, hey, maybe it's time to get the kicker a little work, and he's able to connect there.
I love that empathetic side of you. You're worried about him getting some action, getting to be a part of the game. Well, he got in and got it done.
This taken in at the goal line. And he had no room to run as he's tackled down inside the 20. The Minnesota offense about ready to get this next drive underway. Well, this has been a tough one for them, Charles. They've struggled really on both sides of the football. And one thing that's really plagued them, the turnovers. They've had issues keeping the football in their possession.
And every game that's ever been played, all coaches talk about taking care of the football and limiting turnovers. And in this one, after we saw that first turnover, we worried that things would snowball, and it certainly did, especially on the scoreboard.
On 2nd and 11 now. Cousins. And he's taken down. Back at his own 7. So now after the sack, Cousins and the Vikings come up here 3rd and long. They'll drop to throw. That's complete to DK Metcalf. And way up past the 35 before he's taken down. A real letdown defensively. That was 3rd and a bundle, but they allow the conversion.
That was awfully nice. Hit him in stride, and off he went. It was almost like the ball hitting him was like him receiving a baton, and he was running the anchor leg in a relay race.
We are through 3 quarters here on NFL Kickoff Weekend. We'll return with more after this. This is the NFL, and it's on EA Sports. Cousins on 1st down. Flushed out right. Now he's going to throw deep right side. And now here is another interception.
Picked off by Eric Stokes. And the Packers are going to take over once again at their own 37-yard line. But with this advantage, this defense knew that passes were coming, and they stayed in position, Charles, and picked one off here in the 4th quarter.
Yeah, what a way to cap things off, huh? Because I think this is part of the game within the game. They see the scoreboard, they see what they can accomplish, and they went for it.
Pressure coming from the Vikings, and they get there and bring him down. 2nd and 14 as they've got work to do here after the sack. On play action, Rodgers. He's got him in, complete. And he's going to get this all the way down inside the 35. It'll go as a gain of 33, and that play started back at their own 33.
Even with the big lead here in the fourth, it still bombs away, and frankly, it's working. Why should they stop? Go ahead and keep firing away and gaining those yards.
On first down, Rodgers buying time to his left. And that will be caught, but out of the end zone, says the field judge. It's ruled incomplete.
I think it's fairly safe to call this game over, but they're still trying to bomb it downfield and add to their lead. Almost makes you start to feel for the defense and root for them a little bit, too.
They fake the give. Now Rodgers. Here's a diving catch right side. A really nice gain of 25 yards.
There's a beautiful throw there, and he's been sensational the entire game, moving it around, spreading it, hitting the right guy. Situations, partner, I would expect him to come out of the game now. They've got it in hand. But you and I have been around this league a long time, and every time we ask head coaches about it, hey, why don't you take your quarterback out in the game?
Touchdown, Packers! 4 touchdown passes now for Aaron Rodgers.
And the Packers are closing in on a winning start to the year as they extend their fourth quarter lead. Well, CD, simply...
I come alive in the dark, and I keep getting stronger. My limit's the sky. I do the impossible.